Hello, good day. Let me discuss to you the module 3 and the lesson 1 to 3 of the Living in IT Era. This would be our topic that discuss about netiquette and particularly different topics of computer ethics. So later on, this is your professor to be discussed what is netiquette. So our learning outcomes for today at the end of this chapter, new students is expected to, number one is we explain the netiquettes and the importance in maintaining a respectful online environment. Second, to be discussed the evolution of netiquette from the early online communities, practice respectful online communication, and we need to consider the impact of the words online. And lastly, the students will be able to identify the best practices for maintaining the privacy while engaging in an online interactions. Okay, so let's discuss now what is netiquette in the cyberspace. Basically, when we talk about the netiquette, it is the fundamentals, or we call it the rules that yung user must abide by when communicating and treating others online are known as netiquette. In short, this is our fundamental rules that the user must abide. Dapat sundin natin. Pag nakikipag-communicate tayo at treat din natin yung ibang tao in the cyberspace. So these rules apply to the variety of online activities what we're doing. So it includes yung mga video chat, mga emails, and including mga messages. Netiquette is similar to etiquette, which is the practice of acting politely in a social setting. So the rules of netiquette are exclusive to online communication, which the only distinction, yung maintaining one's online reputation, it requires practicing netiquette. The majority of the prospective employers prepare to hire individuals who treat others with respect after conducting extensive research on job applicants. So sa digital settings, it promotes efficient communication at nakakapag-fortifies ito ng bonds with friends. Hindi lang sa friends, pati sa coworkers and including teachers. Writing or producing a message to be sent online will be more professional if we follow a good netiquette. So yung term na netiquette, sometimes known as network etiquette, ito ay system or rules that promote proper conduct when we are using the internet. So it contains yung concepts and including guidelines that aid us in directing people's behavior on the internet. We creating a welcoming and secure online environment that requires yung adherence to these guidelines, and we always being courteous and respectful to others. So that is the fundamental aspect of the netiquette. Even when people don't agree with us, no, in online, it entails refraining from using offensive language or yung mga slurs. It's very crucial to keep in mind that yung mga actual people are on the other side of the screen, and our comments can have profound impact on their emotions. So let's talk about the history. The history of netiquette. So from the word itself, the netiquette, no, from the word etiquette, network etiquette. So this is a collection based on the history of principles that govern yung proper internet communication. It is tied to the development ng internet, and it demonstrates paano yung online communication convention nag-evolve over time. As online communities and communication, platforms emerged in the 1970s and 1980s. Ang mga tao, they saw that need for the norms to ensure. So they need to ensure yung respectful and effective interactions. Yung tinatawag na WELL, or we call it the Woolworths Electronic Link, was one of the first online communities founded in 1985. So this community evolved in a platform for users' conversations. So si Wool Earth Electronic Link, in-establish niya yung mga set of principles known as the Well Commandments. So these commandments urge user to communicate with respect, mindfulness, and accountability. As go by, netiquette has evolved over the time, particularly in social media. At yung mga instant messaging, it have grown. It is grown in popularity. So today, it encompasses not only language rules, but also the privacy concern. So as we communicate with others through digital platforms, netiquette rules or the network etiquette rules, it reminds us the foster on how courteous and to be productive interactions in our interconnected world. So that's how the born of the Usenet. So what is the Usenet? Is a computer communication system. So it began in 1979 and became publicly available in 1980, specifically in the University of North Carolina and the Chapel Hill and Duke University. So this makes it one of the oldest networks that is still in service today, even now. So Usenet, it appeared approximately 10 years before the World Wide Web was launched. It was created as a simpler alternative to the ARPANET. So it allowing the user to connect and share data without requiring a complex infrastructure. So the design of the Usenet enables users to publish messages in numerous newsgroups where yung mga debates could take place on a wide range of topics from science to philosophy. While the platform has been contributed to the development of acceptable online behaviors, mga behavior norms, it also provide what we call the anonymity. So it allowing people to openly express the opinion without fear or being judged or incurring penalties. Now let's move on to some of the earliest forms of the netiquette. So here are the online communities that develop informal, respectful communication when we are avoiding or the disruptive behavior. So here are some guidelines on how the internet properly. Number one is we need to communicate clearly. Why? Because sharing the message and simply and easily to everyone, we can understand it without confusion. Followed by we need to choose the words wisely. Yung mga ginagamit nating salita that fit the situation and the people na mga kinakausap natin. We need to avoid hurtful languages. Number three, we need to create a positive image. We need to communicate in a way that we shows that you are positive at respectful. So it will boost and help us to build an excellent online reputation. Kaya nga some of the bloggers, meron tayong mga hindi gusto at meron tayong mga gusto. Because they need to create a positive image on us. Then, we have be thoughtful. So be thoughtful about the sharing. We need to be careful about what we share in emails or in the websites. So we need to ensure it is essential, appropriate, and does not violate any privacy rules. So we need to do this to protect our privacy informations and data. Then we have respect. We need to respect the privacy in communication. We need to get permission from the person who sent you the information before sharing it with others. So it's respect their privacy. On the data privacy app, napaka-importante niyan na laging dapat merong consent. Then we need to stay away of your online presence. People can trace your online actions back to you, and the act of responsibility to avoid getting into trouble. Number 7 is we need to be considerate of others. So we need to be aware of how our words might affect others. Kahit naman online yan, sometimes it can affect the emotion of others. So it helps create a friendly and supportive online community. We need to honor the copyright and give credit, especially those we would use for references. Don't use someone else's work without asking, always giving credit when we use their ideas. Then lastly, we need to stay calm in conflicts. We avoid replying to mean or heated messages. Sa social media, ito yung pinaka magandang gawin. We stay calm in different types of conflicts. Somehow emotions boost and outrage. There should be a problem with that. That we need to be respectful at all times because meron na rin mga batas na kaakibat na pagmali ang ating mga languages na nabitawan at makasira ito ng mga privacy ng ibang tao, ay maaari tayong makulong. Now, let's move on to the lesson 2. We talk about the computer ethics. Now, let's discuss this. The intended learning outcomes are the students will be able to explain the concept of computer ethics and its importance in the digital age. That includes how it guides the behavior in technology use, discuss the key privacy that concerns related to data collections, tracking, and including consent. Then we identify and describe the key privacy concerns which are related to privacy issues, and we need to investigate the concerns of surrounding artificial intelligence. Now let's say about what is computer ethics. When we're talking about computer ethics, this is simply referring to the ethical concern. Pag sinabing ethical concern, this is about computer technology and the computers and other digital devices. These are increasingly widely employed in many parts of modern life. So we need to raise it as a fresh question about the impact of the digital technology on society. So it simply refers the ethical concerns for the computer technology. For example, these books offer some of essential ideas in computer ethics. So it will help us to steer yung mga constructive growth and the use of yung mga responsible technologies to serve the public good and the individual rights. So the area of computer ethics began to receive in the significant attention in 1985. So thanks to the part group nung tinatawag natin the Brookings Institution, IBM, and the Washington Theological Consortium. They form what became known as the Coalition of the Computer Ethics. So this group attended to address yung mga ethical concern about developing technology at ma-promote yung responsible activity as digital world advance. As technology advances, new challenges emerge such as yung protecting ng mga personal information, kino-combat natin mga cyberbullying, kino-honor natin mga people's ideas and invention. If someone gather yung mga private information ng mga yan without permission, it create yung serious ethical concern. So that's why computer ethics is a set of guidelines for using this digital technology. So the topic possesses yung mga important consideration and issues when we use yung computers and other technological instruments. So it encourages us to consider what is right and wrong as we create and use and think about this technology on a regular basis. Yung computer ethics originated in the 1970s with visionaries like Norbert Wiener. So it's calling for the social responsibility among the engineers. Yung scholars such as si Walter Manor na they structured the area after exploring the ethical challenges in computers. It's around in the 90s. The issues yung mga surveys, including yung mga digital surveillance, mga online behavior, and including yung mga intellectual property rights. Professional groups such as yung mga ACM, we call it the Association for Computing Machinery, they negotiated the maze by developing an ethical code. As the year progressed, specifically in 2000s, millennium, computer ethics concerns expanded to include yung mga algorithmic prejudice, cyber dangers, and the digital divide. So the computer ethics is only developing in response to breakthrough in the artificial intelligence and the popular social media. And it demands for ethical activity in order to protect the human dignity and just the digital society. Now, there are critical areas of concern in computer ethics. Now let's talk about the privacy. In privacy, there are criteria for evaluating the web content that we see in the cyberspace. Number one is authority. At sinabi nating authority, this evaluates yung qualification and knowledge ng author or yung organization that created the content. Pangalawa, accuracy. When we are talking about the accuracy, we assess kung ito ba'y tama ang information. So it involves yung mga pag-check ng mga reliable sources and mga factual support. Pangatlo, we have the objectivity. This is how we check for any bias of the content para ma-ensure natin yung information is presented fairly at hindi ito pabor sa isang side lamang. Then, the number 4 would be the currency. So this is considered the information, yung recentness, ito ba'y bago. So include yung mga publication date and any updates that made to the content. Is there any updates? Followed by the clarity. The clarity is how we evaluate how easy is it to read and to understand the content. Purpose would be the number 6. It identifies the primary goal ng website. The number 7 will be designing and the usability. So this is how we assess the website, yung mga layout nito, and ease of the navigation kung madaling gamitin. A well-designed site or website usually more credible at now offer to ng mga better user experience to us, especially we are the users for it. And lastly would be the audience. Audience is considered who the content is intended for. Kung para kanino. Yung information must be suitable for the audience. Sa pagkakaintindi nila, dapat madaling maintindihan. We call it the level of understanding and make it more relevant at the same time accessible para sa kanila. So we repeat the critical area of concern in computer ethics and privacy. Number 1 is the authority. Number 2 is the accuracy. Number 3 would be the objectivity. Number 4 would be the currency. Number 5 would be the clarity. Number 6 would be the purpose. Second to the last would be the design and usability. And last but not the least, the audience. Now let's talk about in cyber security. In cyber security, there are what we call the malware. Malware basically is any software designed para ma-disrupt or ma-damage or gain the unauthorized access ng computer. Not only the computer but yung network or yung server. So common types of malware like yung mga viruses, worms, yung mga yan, ransomware including spyware. Ninanakaw nila yung mga data, they extort money at minomonitor yung mga activity natin. So it causes system damage. So it can spread through suspicious email attachment, including sa mga email attachment natin. Mga malicious websites, mga unsafe downloads, and yung mga infected na mga flash drive, they often disguising itself as a harmless software. So how does it work, yung malware? Si malware nag-infiltrate. So malware often enter to the system ng computer natin by trinatrack yung user ng mga dina-download natin. sa mga phishing emails, mga malicious website, or mga infected software. So how does it affect? Once na-installed mo yung mga yan, yung malware magra-run na. Wala kayong kaalam-alam. It will result to the damage. So it could steal the data, ma-encrypt yung ibang files mo, magiging ransomware na yun. And they can spy your user activity, causing some system disruption. Followed by what we call the phishing. Phishing is a type of a cyber attack, no? So ito yung mga criminals, they attempt to trick us into revealing sensitive information such as yung mga bank details, password, or personal information by posting a trustworthy entity in emails, texts, or mga nasa fake website. Yung mga attack na to, tinatawag na social engineering, no? Para makapag-exploit into human psychology na gusto natin tong i-click yung mga malicious link, download yung mga yan. So, ang problem dito is our confidential data can be stealed. So how does it works? It works in the deception and manipulation. So somehow, there is some information open through text, email, or legitimate messages. Now, let's talk about the data breach. Ang data breach is unlawful or unauthorized acquisition ng mga personal information that compromise yung security, including yung mga confidentiality or yung mga integrity ng personal information. Meron naman tayong tinatawag na nasa National Privacy Commission na pag yung personal data breach, lalo na sa atin, so it refers na sa security that leads to the accidental or mga unlawful destruction. Kaya nga, we're very considerate in terms of this. Marami kasing klase ng data breach eh. May confidentiality breach, then yung integrity breach, and including the availability breach. So, pag sinabing data breach na, so it accompanied na yung mga data na ino-offer natin into free services like yung mga credit monitoring or identity theft insurance. They take advantage of it. So that is the data breach, nanakaw sa madaling salita. Then we have the critical infrastructure protection. So this refers to the physical structure ng system at pati ng network. So these are essentials for a society, economic and social functioning. So ang characteristic nito is to protect in cybersecurity for protections. Ibig sabihin, when we talk about the critical infrastructure cybersecurity, it focus in protecting yung mga essential national services like yung energy, water, transportation, ano ba inawin natin? Yung cyber attacks na disrupt the society. Sa simple system pagkakataon siya kahit talasin. Instead of making us cyber terrorists, di ba? This is a very structures. So, refers to the network and public works protection. Now, let's talk about the digital divide. This is about the access to technology. So, not everyone has equal opportunities to access information and digital tools in creating a digital divide. Yes, not all of us don't have the access to the technology, especially in the Philippines. We're an archipelago country. Hiwa-hiwalay. Not all of us are not connected through the internet and the availability of these devices. Digital literacy. Siyempre nga, hindi available yung mga cellphones and other types of internet connection. Yung skills, they don't know how to use it. Even yung mga online resources skillfully. Economic opportunity is about the access to technology can open up jobs and economic opportunities. Somehow, nawawalan din ng trabaho yung iba, pero sa ngayon, mas marami ang nagkakaroon ng trabaho because of this economic opportunity. Now, let's talk about the artificial intelligence, AI. When we talk about the AI, this is a development of computer system that capable of performing yung mga tasks that typically requires human intelligence. Anong ginagawa ng AI? They do learning, they do reasoning, problem solving, including decision making. So that's why it is bias and discrimination. AI can be unfair if it is learned from biased data. It will result in unfair treatment and biased opinion. Kung ano yung masa-simulate ni AI based doon sa dami ng data na nakukuha niya from the internet. So that's why AI systems can be inadvertently embed to bias present in the data. They are trained on leading to the discriminatory of the outcomes. So that's why yung tinatawag nating privacy and security and the surveillance, yung si AI, it collect, no? Ma-analyze yung mga personal data. But somehow, for the privacy and security, yung rapid adoption ng AI, they raise concern about the data privacy and security ng mga AI system. Sa trabaho, ganun din. And autonomous weapon. Yung mga nakakatakot na weapon in war. Job displacement, yung pagkatanggal ng ibang trabaho. Now, let's move on to the Module 3, Lesson 3, or the last topic for the Module 3. These are the 10 commandments, the 10 commandments of computer ethics. Okay, so let's do this for the intended learning outcome. We have here that we need to demonstrate the understanding of the 10 commandments of the computer ethics. Then, we need to identify and evaluate harmful online behaviors and their consequences. Then, we analyze the problematic issues surrounding on the digital theft. Then, last is to discuss the importance of privacy and respecting digital boundaries. So let's talk about the first commandments. So the 10 commandments in ethics was been developed in 1992. So in computer ethics kasi, it came from the attention nung inano natin no, sa computer book yung Brookings Institute in IBM in Washington in 1985. So they decided that the idea was originally i-put forward yung paper called yung mga pursuit ng 10 commandments for computer ethics. So ang ano nito si Ramon Dworkin. So dahil doon, it was designed para mag-guide yung tao and magkaroon ng standard para ma-follow in how to use the computer ethically. So they follow yung biblical style ng 10 commandments of behavior. So paano ba naging relevant to? Because yung mga user ng computer at pati sa internet is becoming more relevant every years as the internet of things nag-expand. So the number one is, thou shall not use computer to harm other people. So this is about using a computer shouldn't lead to harm in any way, whether hurting someone's feeling or causing them any damage. So it means no cyberbullying, bawal, harassment, bawal, or spreading destructive lies. So computers and technology, this is how we help to improve lives, not make them worse. Thou shall not use a computer to harm other people. Number two, thou shalt not interfere with others' people computer work. Don't do things that might mess up or stop other people's computer work. It includes yung mga overloading the internet, deleting their files, or making their computer run slower. Respecting others' work, it keeps the computer environment friendly and productive for everyone. Number three is those shall not snoop around in others people computers life. So we need to respect others' privacy is important in the digital world. Just like you wouldn't go through someone's stuff without asking, you shouldn't look at their computer files without permission. Snooping is a severe invasion of privacy and break the trust. Number four, thou shalt not use computer to steal. Stealing on a computer can mean taking someone's information like hacking or downloading things that aren't yours. So using a computer to take what doesn't belong to you, like someone else's work or money, is wrong and often against the law. Ulitin natin, thou shall not use computer to steal. Number five, thou shall not use a computer to bear false witness or the spreading of the fake news, spreading lies online, making fake accounts, or misleading others is dishonest. Sharing accurate information and being honest online, the building trust and fairness in digital communities. Number six, thou shall not copy or use the proprietary software for which you have not paid or without permission. Using the paid software without buying it or getting a license is considered piracy. Software creators work hard on the program. Taking them without permission is very unfair. So we need to pay for the softwares, show respect for their efforts and support for future creations. The number seven is thou shall not use the other people's computer resources without authorization or proper compensation. So this is about using someone else's computer resources like the network or data storage without asking is like trespassing. So we need to get the permission or we need to compensate for their resources. We need to show respect for the work and including the costs of others to put into their system. The number eight is those shall not appropriate others' people for the intellectual output. Yung ideas, art, and inventions belong to their creators. It's claiming someone else's work as your own without permission is very unfair. Giving the credit or it just show respect for their creativity and hard work. We repeat, those shall not appropriate other people's intellectual output. And the number nine, those shall think about the social consequences of the program you are writing on the system you are designing. So people who make software or system should think about how their work will affect others. For example, if a program is biased, it might lead to unfair treatment. Thinking while designing technology helps create tools that serve society and positively. And number 10, thou shall always use a computer in ways that ensure consideration and the respect for your fellow human. So this rule covers all the others from 1 to 9, urging users to be respectful and fair online. So just like in the real life, treating others with dignity in the digital worlds that create a safer or kinder online community for everyone. So there are 10 commandments. So thou shall not use the computer to harm other people. That is number 1. Followed by yung not to interfere with the people's computer work. At yung number 3, yung access other people's computer files. Number 4 is yung will not use the computer to steal, para magnakaw. Yung 5 naman to bear yung mga false witness. Number 6 naman yung paggamit ng mga pirated software. Number 7 naman yung paggamit ng computer resources without authorization ng proper compensation para dun sa mga taong gumawa. Number 8 naman is yung people's intellectual output o yung gawa, intellectual property rights. Number 9 naman is yung mga consequences ng program na ni-write natin at dinesign natin, and we think about it kung ano yung magiging problems. Number 10s are covered from 1 to 10. So what do they mean in terms of practice? In practice kasi, what it really saying is to think about what we're doing the computers and to think about the impact of the actions could have one on others. So it includes yung mga not interfering with the work of others or mga ginagawa nila. So no viruses or mga malicious softwares. Doing nothing naman that could impact yung people's work on the data files or ma-prevent yung mga access to them. Siyempre, no hacking, spamming, stress mo lang yung system. Yeah.